Ladies and gentlemen, listening faithful, all my homies, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Keystone Chronicles podcast. I got something a little bit different lined up for you guys this week. A little deeper subject, and maybe different from really where I've been going with things. But I want to try to do some like self-help type episodes. It's something that I've been into for a good while, and some people might think that's cheesy or whatever, but I feel like if I can get you into the right mindset of things for different reasons or another, maybe that helps in life, or maybe that helps in some form or another. Maybe you don't even realize it or not. So, oh man, there's a couple things I want to go over, and I want to start with how you guys are going to handle family life going into a deer season, okay? And I just want to speak from my experiences, and I understand that there are single people that listen to this show and they don't think that they have these responsibilities to be somewhere else and could just spend all that time in the woods or out on the water or whatever it is that they have going on in the outdoors. And I understand that. And I have been there, years and years and years ago in my life. But the fact of the matter is, whether you understand it or not, more than likely you have people that are dependent on you being around or being able to talk to you at some point or another, or even animals, right? Or maybe you have a dog or something. And I want to say, you know, what plans have you made, or what kind of respectful things have you put into place going into a deer season? Okay, because for me, I work a lot, and then on top of that, I'm going to hunt and I'm going to scout. So one thing that I like to practice, and the thing that I do, is I wake up as early as possible to go scouting. If I'm going to go scouting, I'm leaving here, 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. And I know that way when I get to my spot, yeah, maybe it's just a little bit dark or one thing or another. And if I'm going scouting, I can be back to my house by 10:30, 11 o'clock, right? And that's just going into lunchtime, or the kids are just kind of getting moving around, and they had just got up at maybe 9 o'clock, 9:30 or something, if they slept in or another. And that is how I try to balance what I have going on here at home, because it can be very difficult, right? And I have people that reach out to me and they're like, "Hey, my wife gets upset when I go hunting 3 times a year, and I don't know how to help you with that. All I can tell you is, you need to sit down and express your feelings." But the people I'm really aiming at are, let's just be respectful, right? And what I mean by that is, let's put other things in place, right? The honey-do list. Hey, I want to get this done before hunting season, right? Right now, I'm working on my back porch, and I'm doing a new partition wall up in the kitchen, and that needs to be done, right? We're gonna get that done, and then that's gonna make everybody happy, and it's going to set me up for success going into the season, to where I don't have to worry about all this shit during the scouting season, during the season itself. And unless an emergency pops up, I can kind of just coast with the house stuff. And I want to see you guys think about what some things that you can put in line to help with things at home while we're gone and hunting in the woods, because there's some freaking diehards that I know that listen to this show, and I know you guys are spending every waking second, hour, and minute that you possibly can in the woods. And I know what it's like during that crunch time too, whenever it's lights out, man. Like, it's closing time and it's time to get it done, and tensions run high, and it's, you don't want to be having to think about, man, I really need to finish that drywall or put that fan up or whatever the heck you got going on. With that being said, guys, are you guys out there shooting your bow? Right? It is that time of the year, and I don't want to see you being that goober that goes to the bow shop September 20th and is mad because you can't have your bow ready for opening day. I understand that things happen, and then, maybe a bow blows up or a string goes or whatever, but that's the other thing. Check. Let's do some maintenance. There's little things that we can check and put together on our bow. And then there's also your arrow setups and stuff like that, guys. Just shoot. I know that one thing that I've been practicing the last couple of years is a cold shot. And what that is as soon as I get home, if I'm going to go in the woods for the evening or in the morning before I go in the woods or whatever, is I try to let a shot out and just get that cold shoulder out of there. keep that shoulder warm, if you will, just like a pitcher in baseball. Throw that coat up over my arm and try to keep everything warm and ready to rock and roll because you can be really unfamiliar if you don't shoot, a couple weeks into the season. And another thing that I try to do is even though I'm not going to shoot that doe that just came in or whatever the scenario is, I'm still probably going to draw. And I feel like that just keeps everything all lubed up and working all right, like some Tin Man shit. Um, these are pretty easy, common things that I feel like everybody should be practicing. But I want to go over what are you guys willing to actually put into this game? How much blood are you willing to put into what you want, right? So what I'm talking about is being realistic with your goals in the hunting season. And I'm just going to speak from a whitetail side of things because that's my experiences, and I'm sure that there's a lot of connection between this and a waterfowl season or a elk season or pick your poison really. And what is the realistic thing, right? I've heard plenty of different things said. Trying to think of some of the analogies that I'm sure will come back to me, but if you go in the woods and you're going to go shoot a 130-inch deer, right? That's the goal. I mean, are you hunting somewhere where there's 130-inch deer? Number one. And how do you know that? Oh, well, I got pictures of these deer. That's great. Do you have any day pictures, right? And I'm not saying you need day pictures to kill deer, but if you're holding an inventory and deciding you're going to hunt a certain specific location and all your pictures are at 1 a.m. in the morning, like I think and feel like your chances are a lot less in that spot. And maybe do a little bit more homework and try to find something that's a little bit more, towards that time. Or, put yourself where if you're hunting rut, not even rut, because I've seen deer chase doe early season, especially mature deer. Put yourself in an area where you think you can cut off a buck downwind of does or something if you're just going to be in random different places. And I'm not trying to give tips or pointers or anything. I'm just trying to tell you that you have to be in that mindset that, okay, I know that there is 120, 130 inch deer, or maybe you're not an inch guy. Maybe you're going after an age deer, and I understand that too. So you know that there's a matured animal that's in this area. But down the road, you got pictures of four-year-old deer instead of one 7 or 8-year-old deer or whatever's going on. Maybe, hey, let's move the expectations over here because now my chances are highly bumped up over in this area instead of that area. Because that expectation, if you're okay with not shooting a deer, then yes, I think that you should definitely go after the deer that you most definitely want to kill. But on the flip side, like I was saying, why not go get that kill, right? Let's go get the kill. And I understand there's a different aspect. Some people hunt certain deer. Me, I'm gonna put myself in the best position to kill. And if that's gonna be a 120-inch deer instead of the 135-inch deer, or the 4-year-old deer instead of the 8-year-old deer, that's what I'm going to do. I like to say it's hunting like a coyote or a wolf, whatever you want to call it, but it's just an opportunistic kill. And that's the way I hunt out of state, for sure, 100%. Put yourself in a position where there's sign and hope that the deer that comes through is a shooter deer and try to lay the shot down. So, guys, there's a couple other things that I want to go over and I want to shift gears into. And I want to talk about how to learn from our losses and how that should be a reminder that you can't always feel like you're on top. So I have some things written down here, and there's a couple things I want to go over. So there's a certain people that I pity, and those are the people that claim that they're always winning. You see, if you're always winning, you're never losing, then you're never learning. I feel that we learn best whenever we lose or we fail. So if you think about it correctly, in the right mindset, losing or failing is a godsend and a blessing. This is the mindset that we have to improve upon. We must think in a manner which failure is not much of an option but has to happen, and it must. Without it, we will not learn. With it, you will get better. So if you're a man or a woman that says, I don't lose, I never lose, I'm always winning, I stay winning, okay, sure, good for you. So you're telling me that you're not learning, really. And if you're not learning, then how the hell are you improving? It's time to normalize and being okay with losing first, and you need to find a fucking way to win. All right? You need to find a way to succeed. You need to push and get better. If you will not, then somebody else will. And that's the guy that's going to go and shoot your deer. Okay? And I know that may sound kind of deep for some of you, and this is odd territory for me putting out something like this too. So this is the way that I feel like I learn, okay? And that is by these failures. I have talked about in the past how I have hit deer and not got them. And that will wear on you, okay? So if you're listening and that has never happened to you, God bless your soul. If you're listening and that has happened to you and you understand, then you get exactly what I'm talking about. I have really, really put my standards on a shot so far up a pedestal that it is sometimes a really double guessing thing or game for me. And it's funny because my dad will always say, well, this isn't a spectator sport. And I laugh because he's right. You know, we're not out here to just watch deer. If that's what you want, take your camera. And I know that there are some that do that, but I enjoy watching deer, but at the same time, I am in the woods to kill, put food on the table, and really enjoy what I'm doing. So I have made some mistakes, and I have most definitely learned from them. And I can think of times where I've even gutted deer. And who here remembers the first time that you hit the gut on a deer? When you were gutting the deer out, right? And you're dressing the deer, and poof, oh, and you learn real quick. You know, you're not gonna make that same mistake again, guys. And I think that that's just a comparison I can do for how we can learn. And and that I want to go into talking about fear or the struggles and hard times. And I like to compare the hard times and the struggles that we have to go through to carrying that extra weight or load as a person, like a baseball player that would be using like a donut on a bat. And if you don't know what a donut is, basically it's an extra weight that you put on the end of the bat. And it makes the mind think that when you take it off, that the bat is lighter, when in fact the bat has not lost any weight at all. But you need to trick yourself into learning that even though at certain times you may carry more weight, it's really all the same, and you really can do this, right? And if you can rewire your brain to thinking with every fiber within you that the hard times that you are going through right now mean that you're about to strike gold and it will change your life. Even if that's not what happens, simply making yourself believe and understanding that better days are coming will help you get by and help you be more successful in your life. And I think that shit is really deep, but this is my mindset. Okay, so I really hope and think that some of these things that I have said can help you guys get yourself moving and get yourself motivated for this season. I hope that after hearing these words, you're thinking, hell yeah, man, I'm ready. Like I'm ready to go. I want to put forth every fiber, every being of me into doing every single thing that I'm setting myself up for this season the hard way, if you will. Because we all know doing hard shit feels good, and there's a reason. Because it's rewarding in every aspect. So don't be afraid to try something new, because we know that failure is just going to lead to us learning. Okay, and I feel like that's going to be the moral of everything I just went over. But some other things I wanted to touch on real quick. We talked about shooting your bow, guys. We want to be out there doing it. let's talk about a little bit of a fitness aspect. And I'm not talking like you have to be in the best freaking shape of your life to go and hunt whitetail deer. But let's face it, guys, when you're dragging deer out, it's no joke. Okay, well, you always see the memes and all the other stuff making fun of people that are out of shape or even people that are in shape, man. It's just hard. And if you've never dragged out a mountain deer or been in these bluffs or seen what you have to get some deer out of, and you understand why you want yourself to be a little physically fit. Okay, and I'm not saying you need to be perfect or you need to be in like this huge great shape. But guys, there's certain little stupid things you can do. And I mean, even with me having a baby here, drop down and get a couple push-ups in while the baby's taking a nap for a couple minutes, right? I have really put my workout stuff on hold because of everything going on here, and I'm trying to get back into it. And trying is just an excuse. I just need to do it. But on the flip side, the baby lays down, I can do a couple push-ups or jumping jacks or squats, or I can stretch or just I have some resistance bands here that, sure, they're not the best thing to use, but they work well and they move muscles. So it's better than nothing is what I'm getting at. Those reps that you get in with your bow, get those reps in. Maybe do a couple jumping jacks or something while you're out shooting your bow and get yourself worked up, get that heart rate thumping and get them shots out. Because guys, you know how it is when these deer come in, you can feel your freaking heart in your freaking throat or your chest, pounding. And we all know what it's like coming down off of an adrenaline high and you're just shaking uncontrollably sometimes. And it's why we do it. It's why we do it. And I just want you guys to try to prepare for what's ahead of us. And I hope that this really helps. And if this goes over well, guys, we'll do more episodes like this. So I really hope it helps you out. If you guys have any questions for me, please shoot me a message, man. Guys, if there's any of you that are in a dark place, please reach out for me. I will help you in any way that I can. I want to talk about men's mental health. I think that's a subject that is highly, highly looked over. If you guys aren't feeling well, please reach out to me. I will do whatever I can in my power to help you in any way. So it's no joke. That's a big thing. If you guys know somebody who you think's in a bad mental place, guys, you should talk to them. PTSD is a real thing. I have seen it myself, whether that's coming from somebody who's a veteran or somebody who's seen a traumatic experience. It is a real thing. It's not a joke. It's not funny. We may use humor to maybe help their day or along or whatever, but when the fact of the matter is we need to talk to those people, we need to take care of them. So I just wanted to put that message out there, guys. I hope everybody's doing great. I hope you're doing fine. I hope your families are great. I hope everybody's well fed, and I hope everybody's eating good. With this message, guys, I really appreciate your time. I will talk to you guys next week. Ladies and gentlemen, you have reached the end of another episode of the Keystone Chronicles podcast. Guys, a little different episode there. I hope that you guys enjoyed that. I have a lot more where that come from if this goes over well. If not, then we'll skip over this and we'll just move on to more hunting, fishing, and outdoor activity stuff. Guys, I want to thank you, as I do at the end of every episode, that the support has been very good. I appreciate everybody always reaching out, letting me know what they like and what they don't like. So, with that being said, guys, rate, comment, subscribe. Apple and Spotify helps the show. You know the drill. Big episodes coming. Let's get ready for this freaking deer season. I'm stoked. It's time to flip the switch. Until next week.